Hello and welcome back to the channel. So we've been shopping today and I'm just walking up and down the room because my back's hurting. So been shopping today. I'm going to flip the camera, show you what we've got and give you a sort of clue, but we have got some new livestock for the shrimp room. So let's have a look at what's going on. I'm going to start with this, and so it's just 6mm round gravel. I have covered up the label because there's something in the pipeline where I'm probably going to go and do some video where that came from. So you'll have to keep subscribe to us if you want to sort of follow and catch that. And what we've bought, so this is a clue. So what we've bought, they're just in the sink at the moment, is a couple of little bristlenose plecos, and the bristlenose plecos are for this tank. So the scape that we've been doing, let me just quickly move that wire out of the way for you guys. So the scape we've been doing, it's got a bit of algae growth on there, a bit of diatoms, and I thought it was fine time that we put a little pleco in there, or two. So I've got two little bristlenose at the moment. I do have to be a little bit careful with these tanks because they do contain rabbit snails, and I want to make sure that they don't escape. So let's give them a bit of a float for now in the top of that tank. While they're floating, I'll clean the lid, and that lid is a perfect fit. So I've got a couple of little tasks to do in here. Want to do a water change at some point today or tomorrow. I've got a few leaves that need to sort of get scooped out, and the lid needs a wipe. So let's let these guys get to acclimation, and then we'll move them in and get some footage for you guys. And while we're waiting for those to acclimate, now is the time to move the breeder box onto the tank that they're going to go in. And I'll put this on the tripod and we'll move that over as well. So it's pretty straightforward. The hose that I use, or the airline that I use, does sort of run across the back of this tank anyway. So I'll start this by just disconnecting that air hose, and then we'll pull that over, and it is literally just a case of, let's tip a bit of water out so that I can move it easily. Lifting it and the uplift tube out without spilling everything, because I've just done. And then I'm going to get this over. Yeah. Moving it, lifting it onto. I made a meal out of that one. Made a proper meal out of that one. Connect it up. So I'm going to try and slow it down a little bit, just so it sort of drip acclimates rather than gives it flow, and then it will drip slowly. So I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. Let's get this camera out. So you can see it is literally just dripping, and that is like a drip acclimation. So they're going to go into this tank, just the 3 adults for now. I've had a bit of a change of heart with the Ancestris, the bristlenose. I'm actually going to put them in a jug and drip acclimate them. I think that's going to be better. So I could undo this, but I'm a bit lazy, so I tend to cut them. Just find it easier. And then hopefully we can get these guys out. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is tip a little bit of this water away and drip them as I would anything else. That's quite a fast drip, but I don't want it that fast. So I'm going to just knock it back a bit. And we'll just leave those for sort of 20 minutes, an hour, just make sure that's dripping. I like to see the drip, even if I use a pair of forceps and sort of put the pipe where I can see the drip, like so, just so I can sort of see how it's going and keep an eye on it. But I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now anyway. So they've been dripping for a while, they're ready to acclimate. I was going to use a net, but bristlenose, their front fins can get caught in the net, and I didn't want to in a fine mesh net. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a shrimp show box, which is full of holes, and I can sort of drop that into the tank a little bit easier, and it will sort of drain. I mean, they will be out of water for a few seconds, but let's get those over. Now that they're drained, then if we go and put them in, one's out, where's the other one? And there's the other one. It's a lot easier putting them in that container. One's right up the corner here behind the bar, and there's the other one. So the beautiful little patterns on them. Both there, look. So beautiful markings. But let them get acclimatized. Welcome to GB Shrimp. I probably should have filmed this, but this was, so I've took that piece of timber out of the terrarium, loads of ficus, which I'll repot and probably sell, and the peace lily have come out. So I'll just sort of show you what I'm trying to do. So what I was attempting to do was just open up this terrarium a little bit. The bromeliad at the bottom there had given me, there was a pup off the side of that, so I've stuck the pup in the side of the wall. I might have a play up there and take those dead bottom leaves off, but I've no idea. There's 4 frogs in here. Absolutely no idea where they are, and they definitely haven't jumped out, but there's 4 frogs in here, so they're good at hiding. They may be under here, so they may be hiding under here, I'm not sure, but either that or I'll put them in the sink and they've hopped away. I don't think so, but we'll have to see. I might even take the fern out. So what I'm trying to do is I probably might end up at some point taking all the ficus out. I want more of an open feel for this, so I get to see the frogs more. Whether they'll still hide as much or what, I don't know, but we'll have to see. So this is sort of as far as I've got for now. Just plenty of leaf litter and ground cover. I've freed up that bromeliad. I don't know where the frogs are hiding. I've stuck a pup in the side. I've cleaned up that bromeliad a little bit. I've made sure the dead leaves are off that one. I might remove the fern. I might end up stripping this and starting again, but excuse me. I'm going to see how they sort of settle into it being a bit more open, and then we'll have a look at maybe, you know, do I remove all the ficus from it because it's just taken over and strangling the terrarium or not. I don't know. I have to have a think about it. But on the back end of that, what I can tell you is that I've reused some of the ficus and repotted the peace lily. So that's sort of repotted and used a bit of ficus. Don't know how that will go. Got quite a lot of ficus left, but I think I'm going to root that up and sell that as rooted cuttings. These guys are doing okay, looking for food as always. So it's currently Sunday the 8th of September. We've got a little bit of a plan for today. So as you guys know, we moved the orange-eyed blue into this tank, and they're not doing too great, if I'm honest. I've since set this tank up and cycled it and moved in the dragon bloods, who seem to be doing fine in there. Just checking what they're up to. They seem to be doing fine in there, and we've set up a tank using blouse soil because it's a slightly higher pH that I'm going to move the orange-eyed blues in. Because we've moved the dragon bloods down, I can now clear this tank out. So my plan for today is to get this tank clear. I have moved my higher grade galaxies into here, and I did spot, so they haven't been in here long, but I did spot some babies. See if I can find them again. So there's a molt over in the back, but I definitely spotted some babies in here. Only a couple, but where there's 2, there's more. So I can't seem to find any, but they're probably hiding up on the filter because there's not any other cover in here for them. But let's crack on with what we've got to do, and then we'll pick back up once I've got the tank sort of emptied and stuff. currently Tuesday the 10th of September 2024, and I'm in the process of just doing top up water changes. I haven't done any glass cleaning or anything like that. I have decided to set this little tank back up. I've took the UGF box out, put a double sponge in, and I'm just waiting for it to fill up off the top up system. It is using Aquasolum soil, this one, so we've got sort of 4 different soils on the top, which is fine. You guys know I use different soils, and what I've done slightly different is I have labelled the tanks, but I've actually labelled them up here. So the idea is that I want to have more. So the idea is I want to have more of a tank feel than a shop feel on the tank, with labels and stuff everywhere. So I'm probably going to end up labeling all these tanks eventually and just hide the labels behind the black covers. I think it just looks nicer and neater. Tonight's the auction. Have got some booses left over, so what I may do is I may end up putting a few bits of boost, because I don't really like a bare tank, you know, even if it's something like that with just one thing in it. So that'll sort of be the plan. Then once I've got that cycled, I'm going to move the Tigers over and reset that tank. The soil is over a year old. I'm not 100% happy with it, so that's going to get reset. And there's other videos in the pipeline that you guys probably will see by the time this goes out. So as you know, I've scaped my Neo tank, and I've also scaped the one next to it. So you'll have to watch that video. If I remember, I'll put a card up. Let's see how this goes. Catch you all in a bit. I hadn't planned on doing any filming today, but I managed to get the camera out, and I told you there was babies in here. Seen a baby. But there's a couple of bits in here. So this is my male boa, who's lovely. But there's a couple of bits of green algae in here, and I didn't like the look of the colour green it was, almost the blue green. And there's a little bit on top of the filter, hence one of the filters is off at the back. But what I've done is I've drained the sponge, just literally dipped the end with that bit of algae into hydrogen peroxide, and then I've put it in this bucket. So the bubbling you can see is the hydrogen peroxide oxidizing, and what I'll do, I'll leave it in there for an hour, give it a good rinse out, and then put it back in. It won't have killed all of the bacteria, just the bacteria on the edge that was dipped, and obviously as long as I don't suck the hydrogen peroxide into the sponge. But thought I'd just mention that because it is probably worth mentioning. Also, while we're here, a lot of these little juveniles were from the original batch, pre me selecting the better variants. So I'm probably going to catch those and move those out today too. So apart from needing to wipe the glass, that's that job done. And I've also found a home for my temperature and humidity sensor, which was just floating around the room. I've just pinned it. So Tuesday the 17th of September, just doing a big water change on the little planted scapes, losing a lot of bits of plants, and they don't look too healthy. So I'm wondering if that soil's the right soil for them. I've got options, there's things I can do. But give the sand a bit of a hoover, a bit of a shake up, so that looks a bit cleaner. And I'm currently trying these little planaria traps to see if I can get some seed shrimp in there. I've got a few seed shrimp in here, not overwhelmed, but if I can catch any, it helps, you know. So we'll see how those go. But what else have I got planned for today? Might do another test on this end tank. So there was no ammonia, but lots of nitrite. So potentially once that's done, it'll probably be a few days if I'm honest. I can move the orange eye blue, what's left of them. So they haven't done well at all then on the soil that I moved them to. So we'll have to see how we get on with that anyway. Just noticed as well, which something I haven't seen in absolutely ages, is my PRL. So there's quite a bit of zooming going on in here, which suggests that somebody's molted and is ready for mating. Although I think some of the females are zooming, which is weird. But yeah, some zooming. Haven't seen them in a long time. So last thing for today then is Indian almond leaves, and I never soak them. I'm pretty happy with the supply. I just drop them in. I never soak them. I'm confident that they're pest free and organic. So I literally just put them in. They will eventually sink as they start growing biofilm. The shrimp actually start grazing on them. I do need to take the old skeleton out off the old leaf, but it's my forceps are in the house, so I need to go and grab those and take that out. But that's all for today. Take care, everybody. Bye bye. And that brings us to the end of this vlog video. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you're not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe. We put lots of content out, loads of vlog stuff. We do lives, shorts, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have a good week. Take care. Bye bye.